Hi, it's me, Connie, and ignore how disheveled my hair looks, please. I just wanted to talk about something because I got 28 views on my first talking yapping video. So maybe 28 people want to hear me yap, right? This might draw away a couple followers, but I'm non-binary, big surprise. And I wanted to talk about that today. So I'm non-binary, right? And I'm also female, and I choose to recognize that. You don't have to. If you're non-binary and you don't want to disclose your sex or your assigned sex at birth, you don't have to. By no means am I saying that. But my identity, it's a part of my identity to recognize both my sex and my gender. And for me, that's like recognizing my sex is crucial to my identity. I'm female and non-binary, and those do not correlate. They're not the same. I'm not a woman, but I am female, right? And that's a problem I've recently kind of come across in a lot of trans spaces. I'm not saying trans people are a problem. I'm not saying trans spaces are a problem. I'm just saying that sometimes some trans spaces will sort of... The fuck is that? Some trans spaces will sort of pressure you into correlating your sex with your gender and not wanting you to not recognize your sex when that's something you want to do. Like, I've been told that I'm misgendering myself for being transmasc and still calling myself a female and still recognizing female experiences and female oppression and sexism. And I've been told that just calling myself female is saying that I'm actually cis, that I'm not really trans, I'm not really non-binary because I recognize my sex and that's something I choose to do. For me, recognizing my sex is crucial to my identity because, first of all, it has to do with the social experiences I've been put through my entire life. And this is where I would recommend you pick up someone like Andrea Dworkin. Yes, I know she's a radical feminist. Big surprise. I'm a radical feminist too, and I'm trans. We exist. But where it's important to me, first of all, is because for me, and this doesn't apply to everyone, this just applies to me, but for me, I need to recognize the social experiences that I've been put through my entire life. I choose and want to recognize my oppression because that is how I fight against it. And if I didn't recognize myself as a female and I didn't recognize the sexism that I've been put through, I wouldn't be able to fight against sexism for the well-being of all female people, regardless of gender. And so another reason for me is because it's just a part of my identity. I don't have sex dysphoria, but I do have gender dysphoria, and those are very different, I believe, because sex and gender are different. That's really what the key conversation comes back to here, is that sex and gender are different. And in trans spaces, sometimes I've seen people sort of imply that you need to correlate your sex with your gender. You're a trans man, you have to be male. You're a trans woman, you have to be female. But that's not for everyone. Sometimes you're male and you're a woman. Sometimes you're female and you're a man. Sometimes you're non-binary and you're whatever, right? And I think that it ultimately comes back to TERF rhetoric, honestly. The idea that sex and gender have to correlate. TERFs believe that, again, I know I said I was a radical feminist. I'm a trans-inclusive radical feminist, not a trans-exclusionary radical feminist. Big difference there. I believe that TERF rhetoric says that your sex determines your gender, and that some trans rhetoric, especially mainstream trans rhetoric, says that your gender determines your sex. And I think there's a nuanced approach and a nuanced answer, if you will, And I think that answer is that sex and gender are different. and they are inherently different, and they will be different forever. They cannot be the same. I mean, they can correlate, but they can't be the same. You can be female and you're a woman, then you're a cis woman, but there's still different aspects of you. There's the aspect of your sex and the aspect of your gender. So honestly, when I think about it, the term cisgender is a bit confusing if we go by my ideology, because if gender isn't real, like I've been kind of suggesting this whole time, then there can't be any cis people. But to me, cis people exist when your gender identity correlates with your assigned gender at birth. I believe people are assigned a gender at birth, but that is not necessarily their gender. People are assigned a gender based on their sex. People born male are assigned to be men, but that doesn't mean their gender is going to be that of a man, right? But if a person born male is assigned, I just forgot the word assigned. If a person born male is assigned the gender of a man and their gender identity correlates with that of a man, then they are a cis man. And to me, that's how it works, I guess. But recognizing myself as female, ultimately, is not saying I am cis. It's not saying I'm a woman. I have never said I am a woman, because I am not. I am a female, and I am non-binary. And those two different aspects of my identity can coexist without having to match one another, right? So that's really all I wanted to talk about today. Hope you enjoyed. If you care about my videos, leave a like, maybe subscribe, because I like attention. Yep, bye!